Coming in at number 90, we have Detroit Lions wide receiver Kenny Golladay. And this one's a really interesting one for me, being a Detroit Lions fan, because if I'm being completely honest with you guys, in 2017, I was not wearing this Lions shirt, and I was definitely not wearing this Lions hat because I was not a huge fan of the Kenny Golladay pick. I thought that, coming out of Northern Illinois, he was just a super raw prospect who had never really faced high-level competition, and sure, he would show high athletic potential on some great splash plays, but game in and game out, he just didn't really do it for me on film. Well, if anybody's really proved me wrong over these past 3 years, it is most definitely my man Kenny Golladay, because especially this past half season when he has Jeff Driscoll and David Blau throwing to him, you realize that he's not just a product of being Matt Stafford's number one weapon in a pass-first offense. He's really one of the brightest and most promising wide receivers in the NFL today. And first things first, in terms of what makes Golladay so special, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up his physicality, because while a lot of people like to look at wide receivers as just divas on the football field, Kenny Golladay is kind of the antonym of that, and that's what you're going to see here. He is more willing than anybody to kind of stick his nose in there, get his hands dirty, and take on bigger and stronger players, and that's what you're going to see here with this just absolutely disgusting block on Emmanuel Ogbah. And I can't even call it a block because that's how he released to go on his route. And I just feel bad for Ogbah. They tell you in boxing and MMA to never turn your back on your opponent and protect yourself at all times. Well, somebody should have read those rules off to Emmanuel Ogbah, because he just turned his back on Kenny Golladay, and that's a mistake. Physicality aside, one thing that jumps off the tape immediately with Golladay is just his body control and his elite body control, because what you're going to see with Kenny, and it's going to be a frequent trend in almost all these clips, is he very rarely gets any separation from opposing defensive backs. According to NFL Next Gen stats, Kenny Golladay averages 1.9 yards of separation on all of his targets, and that is the fewest of any qualified receiver in the league out of almost 100 qualified receivers. So Golladay's not a great – he doesn't get a smooth release off the line of scrimmage very often, and he's not a great intricate route runner yet, right? But what he's able to do is make use of what separation he can get. And that's what you're going to see here, where he just gets a ball tossed up to him by Matt Stafford, with Travarius Ward draped all over him, and he's still able to kind of keep that lower body still and make sure he keeps those toes in bounds while he goes up and uses that long 6'4" frame to go up and kind of snag that ball out of the sky. And just beautiful plays like these that he makes game in and game out that I think really set him apart. And if that one wasn't enough, here's almost the same play, this time against the Giants and DeAndre Baker. You're going to see again, Kenny gets almost no separation when he makes this cut towards the pylon, but he's just so special at going up there and snagging that ball out of the sky and getting his feet down at the same time. It's almost like a puppet that you're controlling with two strings. One controls the upper body that's turning the torso towards the ball and snagging it, while the other's controlling his feet and keeping them still right in bounds. Like, what is that, 2 inches from the white? It's just so impressive how he's able to kind of work on two different planes. There's the plane with his hands and his head, and there's the other plane with his feet and his toes. It's just so impressive. And I know you're probably sick of me talking about Kenny Galladay's body control already, but just look at him here against Tampa Bay's cornerback Carlton Davis as this play breaks down. It's just so impressive how he's almost able to, kind of like an NBA power forward or center, just set his feet on like the low block, let's say, and use his big frame to box out Carlton Davis, who's trying to drive on that ball, and really just pick this out of the sky while keeping his feet just in bounds. It's so impressive because it takes so much length to extend out and grab that ball, but it also takes so much strength to absorb that contact by Carlton Davis and get your team a first down. And I mentioned his concentration on a couple of those previous plays. Look at it here, going against Green Bay Packers cornerback Kevin King. And what you're going to see here is just on this nice comeback route by the sidelines, how Golladay is able to just concentrate on this ball, watch it into his hands. As you can see here, King is coming in with his eyes closed. He doesn't want this contact, but he knows it's going to happen. Well, Kenny Golladay, he welcomes the contact, and he's not going to let your contact phase him. And as a result, he's able to absorb it and just see the ball into his hands. And those are so impressive when you consider a lot of young guys' biggest problems are concentration drops. Well, one of Kenny Galladay's biggest strengths are really these concentration catches, we'll call them, that he has no business making. And I call this one concentration again, but it's really just his ability to ignore the noise and ignore the defenders around him and be fearless and make plays that he has no business making. Because watch him here coming across the middle against the Chiefs, and with 2 defenders beating down on him, he's able to just go up there and pick the ball out of the sky. It's so impressive because, while you might see some people get really nervous with Daniel Sorensen beating down on you, Golladay welcomes that contact, and he doesn't lose concentration. He doesn't lose sight of the ball, and as a result, 7 points are on the board. And here's a really good example of him kind of putting everything we've talked about together early on. What you're going to see is he's absolutely smothered by Trey Waynes in the end zone. This is one of the most contested catches you'll ever have to make, but look at how he's just able to go up there, concentrate on solely the ball, and really just contort his body regardless of Trey Waynes being underneath him at one point, in front of him at one point, and he somehow finishes behind him. But it's just so impressive to see this out of a third-year receiver in the NFL. And it's not just younger corners that he's doing this against, the Kevin Kings, Carlton Davis, Trey Waynes. He's doing this against some of the best in the league. Here he is going up against Casey Hayward. And look at how, even though, again, he gets almost no separation on this route, how he's still able to go up and really fight for this ball, high pointing, even though one of the NFL's best is just draped all over him. It's so impressive because, this is probably an incomplete pass for 95% of the league, if not more. So many people need that separation to feel comfortable enough to make these catches. Golladay doesn't. He's willing to make them with 1 defender all over him, 2 defenders all over him. It doesn't matter. And while all of those kind of like possession catches underneath for first downs where he's absorbing that contact, those are really nice and kind of invaluable to any team, he's also a great deep threat as well. And that's really where you get to see the size and the speed and the vertical. You start to see it all kind of come into form as, just look at him here, get deep, get past Kyle Fuller in the end zone, and then go up and while falling backwards, somehow grab this ball and complete a touchdown. If you don't realize how hard this ball is to bring down, go have your dad or go have your brother throw you a pass from 50 yards away and try and catch it falling backwards. Like, that just takes such concentration and such tracking of the football to be able to even come down with that. And again, the body control to come down in bounds with it, considering he was right there on the sidelines. It's just so impressive. And he's doing this on such a frequent basis. When I say frequently, I mean, here's another one of him doing it against Kyle Fuller of the Bears again, because just this time it's just in a different game at Ford Field, but it's just the speed never goes away. The height never goes away. And he's able to use those physical intangibles to go up and make these fantastic plays. And that's incorporating the concentration. That's incorporating the ball skills to really high point that ball. It's kind of just putting everything together. And this is what makes Kenny Golladay so special, because he's not just making these plays one-off and, once every 5 games. It's almost game in, game out that you can expect a deep shot to Kenny Golladay to be completed when really this isn't that great of a throw, and there's really no business that he comes up with this. Here's kind of the encapsulation of this point. Look at him again on Casey Hayward, one of the NFL's absolute best. You see Stafford with a sidearm throw. Well, look at Golladay just go pick it out of the sky and at the same time concentrate with Casey draped all over him, the definition of a contested catch. And look at how he's able to just utilize that body control to keep his feet in bounds while stretching out over the sidelines and making just a beautiful play. But I've mentioned it enough now to where I'll give it its own slide. Just his ability to go up and high point these balls is so fantastic, because being a Lions fan, you saw Calvin Johnson, Megatron, doing this for his entire career. Well, Kenny Golladay kind of picked up where Calvin left off, because plays like this are absolutely insane. If you didn't get a good view of it, here it is here. It's crazy, because you think of him, he is utilizing all of his 6'4" frame, all of that 35, 36-inch vertical, and he's still able to concentrate and watch that ball into his hands. It's just great stuff like this that makes Golladay so fantastic. And I called this last one high point catches again, but it's just him putting everything together. You're gonna see the physicality. You're gonna see the body control. You're gonna see the concentration as he watches it into his hands. You're gonna see the ability to fight through contact and grab it despite being absolutely smothered by his defender. You're going to see the perfectly timed vertical as he goes up and high points out of the air. You're going to see just the massive catch radius and really just the length and the strength that is required to bring down a ball like this. And, despite getting almost no separation, he's still able to somehow pull this ball down, and he even draws a flag to add insult to injury. And that's really what it feels like Kenny Golladay is at this point. I don't know how many of you guys have played basketball before, but it's like you're perfectly defending this guy at the 3-point line, and you anticipate him going up for a jumper. Your hand's right there in his face. You almost tip the ball, and when you turn your back, all you can see is it swishing through the net, and you almost just have to shrug your shoulders and give hats off to the offense. Well, that's what it must be like defending Kenny Golladay, because on almost every single one of these clips I show you guys today, I don't know how you're supposed to defend that. And if this is where he's at now in year 3, just imagine where he's going to be once he cleans up that release a little bit, once he becomes a more intricate route runner and, a more nuanced route runner. It's just going to be scary to watch, and I'm excited that, he's in Detroit, and hopefully he's going to stay in Detroit as right now I think he is the 90th best player in the league, but really the sky's the limit for a guy like this. As always, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, make sure to leave a comment. Was I able to convince you that he's the 90th best player right now in the NFL? Or do you think it's just a homer pick that, I'm making because I'm a Lions fan? Or, maybe it's the opposite, and you think that, 1,190 yards and 11 touchdowns, that's nothing to scoff at, So do you think that, considering who he had throwing to him and the lack of running game that the Lions had last year, should that have put him higher on the list maybe? It's a really interesting discussion to be had, but ultimately the only way you'll really be able to have it is if you subscribe and continue to tune in and hopefully enjoy the remaining 89 videos in this series, because I'm having a lot of fun with it. Hopefully you guys are as well. So with that being said, I'm mic'd up. Now I'm micing out. Peace, guys.